Awesome. So this session, like Ali said, is going to be about what we're doing with AI in the workplace. Some of these Raju did speak about yesterday, but I'm going to go in deep. So we'll have a more of a conversational session than just me presenting. So I'll break in between. You ask me questions, we can take those questions and go on as we go. Before I start, I'll just probably have a little step back. And then how many of us ordered food online, right? DoorDash, Uber Eats, almost everyone. Yeah, especially today, you'll need this because all the food truck fiasco. So how much time would that take in us? What, 5 minutes, 3 minutes when you order a food for just ourselves? Now imagine you're doing the same thing for the entire office. What happens now? How much time would that take? A lot longer. And how about your mental health about that, right? You got a lot more stressful. You have to now suddenly look into the dietary preferences. A lot of people in the office. Now you have to look at how people process all of that food, what's the different credibility the vendors have, what are the SOPs they follow, what are the compliance and all of those things. So when you actually compare that with what we're seeing in the AI world, it's actually quite similar. Right? So there's the largely popular, the consumer AI or the personal AI, as I like to call, which is basically just you doing things for yourself, right? You pick an LLM that you want to work with, say OpenAI, Perplexity, Graph, whatever it is. You do that, go into the website, start chatting with it. It's fast, easy. It's entirely up to what you want to do with. You start doing with it. You start, talking to it, getting things done. That's largely what the AI revolution has been so far. But in the enterprise side, it doesn't actually go that easy, right? So there's a lot of things that you have to actually keep in mind. The data restrictions, there are vendor capability restrictions. How does this vendor handle my particular private data? What about the legal compliance? What about this AI agent just comes and causes haywire, just starts contacting a lot of vendors, order stuff. You'll be in a lot of legal trouble as well. And you also have to see how the entire standard procedures are taken care of as well. So thanks to this, like I said, while we are saying that there has been an AI revolution that's happening as we speak, it has largely been with the personal AI or the consumer AI space, and the adoption has been very, very slow in terms of enterprises. And I think it's for the right reason. We have to start slow. We have to take it slow. There are a lot of things that actually, if today you're planning to implement AI for your workplace, there are things that you have to consider, starting with compliance, right? How does the AI process not just my data, but also my customers' data? What happens? What are the funnels that they take? How does it process the PIAs and stuff like that? Second thing, especially in this particular category of products, if the AI has to churn up something really useful for you, you actually has to share your emails, your chats, your files, your messages, whatever it is, all of your documents, all of your everyday stuff with the data. How does the AI handle my particular data? The one on the bottom is my favorite, is human intervention. So again, what happens if the AI agents start hallucinating, starts contacting a vendor, orders for 1 million pieces that you never wanted, and you're suddenly in a legal trouble that you actually have to pay for it, or what should I do? Your reputation is at stake, and you actually have to pull back a lot of the things that you did. It pulls you back a bit of all the progress that you're doing in terms of AI. But at Zoho, we always actually do believe that AI is the best assistant a human can have. Now, you have your enterprise adoption problem, but we also know that AI is the best assistant a human can have. We also believe that it's actually really going to take our jobs. It's supposed to survive a meeting that could have been a meal, right? I mean, what? Come on. That's what I'm doing every day. If you're an AI agent, if you're that powerful, do that for me first. So considering all of this is probably the most important slide in my presentation today. These are the 4 things that we keep in mind while creating all of the features that I'm announcing today, Zoho's measured approach into bringing AI to the workplace. Starting with giving you an option whether you want to choose Zoho's LLMs or you want to choose your own LLMs, so you want to choose your own models and stuff like that. So you're always going to give you options as to choose between, hey, you want to go with Zoho's own stuff that we're building largely into our products lately. All of the demos you're going to see today are based on Zoho's LLM. But then we also understand, especially based on the industry, the verticals that you work in, you also have to have preferences based on what are the other LLMs out there. So we're always going to give you that choice. Even further, if you go down to the other models or other granular controls that you have, you can also choose your own models that you come up with, right? Whether you're choosing with Zoho, of course, there is Zoho's own models. But if you're going with a third party, whether you want GPT-4, GPT-3, Mini, whatever it is, you have a custom model that you want to use. That's also something that we're going to bring to our products. Say you're generating an email, you want that email to always be in line with the other emails your company has been generating so far. You train your own models, hook that up with Zoho's models, Zoho's LLM, the controls, and all your AI will actually follow those models. One of my favorite, again, I spoke about human intervention. Assist, don't bypass is a principle that you're going to follow heavily across all of these products, especially the workplace products, right? We're not going to let the AI just take control and then do things, cause haywire, and then you put you in a lot of legal trouble. So we're going to assist. Every action the AI is going to take is actually going to come back to you, seek you for your approval, and then only then it's going to actually delete. Say, for example, yesterday we announced a cleanup agent, right? So it's going to delete a lot of your emails, clean up your storage and stuff like that. So before it actually does that, it is going to create a cleanup plan, keep it ready, and come to you for approval. Only when you actually create, hey, this is fine, and approve the cleanup plan, is it going to delete those emails permanently. So that's how the AI features are going to work in Zoho. For now, let's see how AI kind of features, shapes up in the future. If it can actually assist, if it actually bypass you and then assist you at the same time. So we're going to announce a lot of very, very interesting stuff in across agentic and assistive AI served by Zoho's own LLM today and across some of our popular products. But then before I do that, I'd love to take a step back and understand what you know about AI and Zoho already, right? So I'll just take you through a quick recap of what we've done so far so you don't forget. So we've done email generation in Zoho Mail. So you can, of course, generate a content with Zia, tell them that, this is what we want, and then generate a content. You can summarize an entire thread. This is a very, very useful feature where you have a lot of email threads that's happening. There are people who actually do an email with just, okay, sir, right? And then you have tens and billions of email threads when you come back after vacation. So just very useful feature out there. You also have similar stuff in Zoho Cliq. So we have a chat summary. This is not just useful when you're actually coming back from a vacation or something like that, but it's actually even more useful when someone has just added you to a channel. How many of you have had that cultural shock when someone's added me to a channel? Like, I don't know what's happening in this channel. Hey guys, what's happening here is the first message that you'll put. So instead of doing that, what you'll do, you say, hey, summarize all the messages in the last 30 days. Show me who's saying what has been decided and stuff like that. We had document and image generation that you were talking about here in WorkDrive. We have images that you can actually extract text out of. So you open an image, Zoho Cliq will let you extract the image, text out of it, and then post it as a text message in your group. That was a very useful feature we announced last year. We also had meeting transcripts and notes in both Zoho Meeting and Zoho Cliq meetings. So it will tell you, hey, these are the action items, here's stuff you want to do. And you'll see the little powered by OpenAI stuff. That was all of the things that we announced last year. Of course, we also added in Writer, apart from the grammar features, we also made sure that you can edit a PDF file using an AI algorithm that kind of actually detects all the fields, replaces those with actually editable fields, and puts them as an editable PDF for you. So those were all in the past. That was last year. This year, we're actually announcing a lot of these things in across of these products within Zoho's own LLM. And most of them are focused on being an agent that can actually serve you, assist you, and then help you out, elevate your productivity. Let's start with Mail. In Mail, we're actually doing 3 different things. So it can help you with creating and writing emails in a different way. I'll explain that. There's a catch in that. It can help you manage your inbox, clean up your inbox and stuff like that. It can also help you secure your inbox from all the malicious threats and stuff like that. For a change, I'm going to start from right. So let's talk about security. Okay. All of these experiences I'm going to talk about in a fictional character that I have in my mind. Hey, what about this character? What about how can AI help this particular person? So the first person I'm introducing is Thomas. So he's an IT administrator. He's responsible for looking out for all the email attacks that a company might get in terms of phishing, spoofing, and all that. What really keeps him up at night is all the different types of attacks that people keep coming up with. Hey, there's this point where like, hey, I've really mastered this particular attack. I know when this particular attack comes up, and then there's a new one, right? That's been keeping Thomas up. To help him up, what we're announcing is something called a threat mitigation agent. You would have seen this yesterday during Raju's session. What it basically does is that it monitors your inbox on a regular basis. It helps you understand, of course, all of the emails that are anyways coming to your Zoho Mail inbox is going through a lot of spam checks. So that security layer is already there. But even apart from that, there'll be a lot of zero-day threats that might happen. So there'll be new threats coming up. So it keep monitoring your inbox for any anomalies and identifies these threats. Hey, this actually looks like a threat. This actually looks like a malware. And it converts them into an incident, and immediately it announces and informs the sysadmin about it. Once that's happened, it actually neutralizes those threats, which means it actually moves them, all of those emails, to quarantine. It lets the people know that, hey, you've downloaded this malware, attachment that is possibly a malware. Do you want to delete it and stuff like that? And then actually repeats the same process. That's the agentic stuff that comes in, right? It actually, when it repeats the thing in for you, that becomes an agent. So it actually watches out for similar future threats. Let's do a quick demo. Awesome. All of you can see my screen. So here, there's a little email that says, hey, there's a security alert. There's a 0-hour threat that's been detected. I'm going to click on that. And here's an email that it's coming from the threat mitigation agent that said, hey, we've identified an anomaly, which is a 0-hour threat that has bypassed our initial filtering and protocols and was detected during the advanced AI scanning that this agent actually has been appointed for. Like, okay, fine, let me see what's happening here. I click on this. There you go. So it actually has a clean timeline of what it has done. So you're like, hey, this email was delivered on this particular day. Using Zia's own skills, it has identified that there is a risk involved in some of these files in the attachment that has been there, part of the email. And then there's been a notification that's been sent to the admin, which is me, who just opened the email. So it also gives you information on what are the different actions that has been taken by the agent. So it says, hey, this particular email was removed from the user's mailbox already and has moved to the organization's quarantine, where you can actually go there and then look into the email, whether it's actual malware or not. It has notified all the administrators about this particular incident, like the emails that you've seen. And it also scanned all older emails. That's the email, and that's the important part. It's actually identified that, hey, here is a threat that I think is a zero-day threat. I know I've moved this to the quarantine, but now I'm actually scanning all your older emails to see that whether similar emails or, similar malware has been attacked by your, to your company or not. The other interesting part, it says, hey, these are the users who received this email. There's 50 of them. The users who reported, the good ones, he reported that, hey, this must be a suspicious malware. And there are also the naughty ones who's actually downloaded the email. So now what do you do? Okay, now you obviously have to go and inform these people that, hey, you've been naughty, you've been downloading all of this stuff. There are two things that Zia suggests you do. So it says, hey, why don't you create a security rule for this so that anything similar to this are actually will be flagged, notified, and moved to quarantine automatically. Let's do that. So again, AI comes in here. You can just talk about it. Talk to it in your own natural language. It says, hey, create a rule to block the email if it's the address IP is coming from this. Like, okay, create a rule. There you go. So the rule has been set. Then you say, hey, these are the final, review of the rule. Who does it apply to? All users. When does it expire? It doesn't expire at all. This is the rule. This is how the rule's name is. That's it. The second thing, handling all those naughty people, you'll say, hey, why don't you send a warning email to those people so that they don't download those attachments, malware stuff immediately. Again, AI comes into this. We are not actually manually generating that email. I'm giving a detection instruction to Zia that says, hey, do this. And it is addressing these 3 affected users who download those attachment. There's a subject that's been put by Zia already. There's also been email that's been, email content that's been put in together by Zia. If I don't like it, I can regenerate it. Of course, the AI part comes in here as well. Let's see, AI. Yeah, I'm going to send this, and that's about it. Awesome. I'll move on to the next one. From security, we may not go into the part where we manage your inbox. We saw some of it yesterday as well. For this, I'm going to introduce Leanne. So Leanne is actually a product manager in one of the famous companies out here. She has a big launch coming up very soon, probably next week. But it's almost impossible for her to actually go into her inbox, find out critical stuff, because her inbox is filled with newsletters, marketing, all the promotions and stuff like that. So for her, what we are announcing is a cleanup agent. Basically, it understands, again, scans your monitors and scans your inbox on a daily basis. It classifies it by type. It basically understands, hey, these are people that you're not interacting with. These are people who has a high unread count, right? So you're not opening their emails at all, and they're actually hogging up a lot of your storage. And then it kind of creates an auto suggest a cleanup plan for you. Basically, it says, hey, these are the things. Every time this hits this particular threshold, I'm going to move that into a trash for you. And then if you say it's okay, I'm going to delete that permanently for you, actually cleaning up storage for you. And then the same thing kind of keeps repeating, because as soon as you tell or train Zia that this is how you actually have to train, or this is how you actually have to clean up an inbox, it repeats the same thing for you. I mean, how many vendors actually who would actually help you clean up your storage than hogging up your storage in, getting more money out of you through add-ons and stuff like that? I know this is what really Zoho does. This is the first thing that I asked my team. Hey, I've seen a lot of vendors do AI stuff and stuff like that actually increases the amount of money people spend and extract from you as a user. How on earth are we actually deleting a lot of the stuff and actually helping people save money? And that's how Zoho works. Let's do a quick demo of that. I hope it works. I'm giving you a lot of hype around it. Okay. So basically, very soon you're gonna see a button that says Zia Agents right on top here. So click on that. This is how all the different agents that we're going to speak about today, but we're going to, of course, add a lot more in the future. We have the cleanup agent here. As soon as I say, it welcomes you. It says, hey, are you ready to tidy up your email mailbox? For now, Rebecca's account is actually in good storage health. It says, hey, it is only 5% that's being used, but it's okay. Here are some proactive tips for you to make sure your inbox is always in a great shape. Like, hey, tell me what are your quick cleanup suggestions, okay? It says, here are a few senders that I thought, again, that you're not interacting with a lot, hogging up a lot of your storage and can be cleaned from your inbox. Okay, fine. But then really there's one little thing that we've added is that instead of deleting all these emails from all of those, that person entirely from your inbox, you can actually choose that, hey, I want to delete only the recent ones that are older than 1 month, older than 3 months, or, things like that. I do that. I tell the system tells you that, hey, you can clean up to 256 or 261 MB of storage. I do this. It says, hey, again, I've scheduled a cleanup job for you. I let you know when it's complete. But then again, if you want to keep this going, you teach me how your cleanup routine is. I'll monitor your storage health for you and also prepare a cleanup plan so that this agent actually works in the background just as you want. And it's not actually, you're not actually coming here doing this in manually every time. I'm like, okay, fine. You take over. Okay, so here's a quick list of reviews of what I'll be working on. These are the rules which Zia agent will work. And like, okay, fine, confirm, do that. Awesome. So now it'll automatically delete and move your stuff into trash. And then once you approve, it'll always, move it permanently from your inbox. You can also go back, and then if you go back here, again, the animation's coming back again. Now you can go and review some of the activities that you've already done. You also have some new cleanup suggestions if you want. You can do that as well and then get back to your business. That's the cleanup agent. Awesome. Let's move on to the other stuff. So this is we're calling this a writing agent and not a writing assistant. So why that distinction really exists is that usually we've seen Gen AI stuff. Like the difference between Gen AI and agent is really the recurrence part of things. It's really understanding from the context of what we've just done and then giving you up or coming up with follow-ups and stuff. So really what writing agent here does is that despite or just not writing the email content for you, it also understands the content, the context of the content, and then suggests a follow-up plan. Let me explain that in a demo. So go here. So this is the writing agent that we have. So here I'm writing an email that says, we have some VIP guests. Those are coming into our office on the 26th of May. Okay. Write an email to the admin requesting them to set up, let me see. Yeah. Requesting them to set up and keep the premises ready so that when they're coming in, all the arrangements has been done. But what really happens in stuff like this, I'm very, very sure that a lot of us would have faced this in real life. What really happens is we send an email out like this and we think, hey, okay, I'm done. They are going to do their job. And you expect maybe on 26th morning, you expect everything to be, neatly arranged. You go and see, apparently there is another clause in your company's policy that, hey, you should let me know like 2 weeks ahead. Only then we will do the setup or something like that. Something crazy that people always say. So right now, what you're saying, you always been thinking that this thing has been ready and well to do, but then you actually forgot. I mean, you actually didn't consider the unfortunate circumstances that it might not be ready. So what this agent really does is, once you talk to it about it, there you go. So instead of just creating a draft that you can actually use, it also sets up a reminder saying, hey, you're saying in this content, you're saying there's something that you want to check with the admin team on 26th of May. Why don't you add a reminder for that so that you can actually generate a follow-up email as well one day before that? Like, hey, do that. Yes. So it is actually, scheduled a follow-up reminder for you at the same time. So that's one use case of how this works. There's also another use case. There's a very common thing that we all do is, let me see if I have that email here. Yeah, it's right here. So I'm getting an email like this that says, hey, I'd like to schedule a meeting with you on whatever to continue the discussions that we had. I'm available on, again, the 26th of May, which those VIP customers were coming in. I'm available on that day. I hope that works for you. If not, let me know. Feel free to suggest an alternative and things like that. So very soon you're gonna have a smart reply button that's appearing here, which will bring the context back to, one second. The best response always is to refresh the page. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, there you go. So it's gonna again generate an email, response already. Hey, like, yeah, I'm available on this. Nice meeting you, blah, 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 and all that. And then also gonna say, hey, yeah, I'm available on this date. If you ask any AI agent to generate a content, it's gonna do, right? It say, hey, I'm gonna reply and all that. And then now it says there is a conflict. Yeah, exactly. So let's say, hey, you have those VIP customers coming in and that's blocked in your calendar. You have an overlap. Why didn't you suggest an alternative time or date? Like, okay, fine, I'll choose this day. And then the email content that's actually generated will take that into consideration. It'll change the content, and now you can reply to those emails as well. There you go. So you've set up a reminder. Now you see the date and time has changed to 8 p.m. IST here as opposed to 11 a.m. IST as before. So I'm going to look into the conflicts and it's going to do the work for me. So that's writing agent. So that's the difference between a writing assistant and a writing agent within Zoho Mail. That leaves me to my next favorite app in the system, which is WorkDrive. Doesn't mean I don't like the other app. I have people from Cliq sitting here like, hey, what about Cliq? So for all the AI stuff, this is my next favorite app. So in WorkDrive, actually, a little pretext to this, what we are actually doing is we're taking Zia, we are changing a lot of fundamental stuff about file management in a lot of different places. So we are actually taking file storage and we're taking Zia to actually transform WorkDrive from being a place where you actually just dump in your files, store your files, to making it a content intelligence platform. It's going to understand what you're storing. It's going to read through what you're storing, of course, with all the privacy settings built in, and then create a kind of a shared intelligence for your own company so that people know what are the stuff they're dropping into. We're also using Zia to transform the whole problem of an unstructured data into an insight from every data. So basically, it doesn't doesn't matter how you organize your stuff. It's going to learn from where and what are the type of data that you have, whether it's files, PDFs, videos, audio files, anything, and then creates insight from every little data that you put in. So that's what Zia Hubs is all about. So with Zia Hubs, Zoho WorkDrive is actually moving on from a content management platform to a content intelligence platform. So Zia Hubs, basically what it does is you drop a file to a particular hub. So it doesn't really work on across all of your files yet. So we're definitely going to bring that pretty soon as well, where by default, your team folders should be able to index and you should be able to ask questions to it. But we're not doing that yet. So we have Zia Hubs where you're saying, hey, here is a hub that I've created. You drop all your files into this. It indexes those file content. It understands Zia kind of starts reading through it and creates a shared understanding, knowledge of what those files are. And then you can now start asking questions to Zia based on what you've just dropped in, and then also finds the exact locations of what or where it's picked up these information from. That's the most important part. Let me give you some examples as usual from a user perspective. So here's a support example. So he's Philip. He has just joined a company. So what Philip is facing is that though he has a lot of these handbooks, PDFs, knowledge materials, training materials and stuff like that, it's also really difficult for Philip to locate the exact location of where, I'm finding these information from. So what Philip does is he creates a Zia hub that says WorkDrive support. For example, if Philip is working for WorkDrive, he drops in all the different folders that he already has, all the training materials. With Zia, as soon as it takes a little time, a couple of minutes to index all of these. And then from now, he can actually start asking questions to Zia Hub. So it says, hey, what is the question here? Let me see. Yeah, what are the file limits, upload limitations in WorkDrive? And it's actually going to come up with an answer looking through all of those documents it just posted. And then the favorite part, that is actually going back and then understanding the sources and then say, hey, this document is from this particular PDF. Now you can actually take that particular PDF and then share it with your customer, whoever you're working with. So that's the useful part, that the engagement, the extraction part that actually takes in from the data and then gives you those data. Hey, here is what that you're supposed to give it out to your customer. Another example is Rani. She's a junior developer. She just joined a tech company, say like Zoho. She wants to understand what are the different policies, what are the different thought processes that's happening, especially in terms of AI. So what she does is goes to a tech town hall, Zia Hub, what we've created with the recordings of all the town hall materials that our company usually has every week, and just create a recording of that, put it in here. Now you can start asking questions to the town hall hub. You say, hey, what are the technical challenges Zoho has in implementing AI? And then it kind of comes up with an answer based on the historical data of what people have announced. People have spoken about in these town halls. Even better, if I want to get that human aspect in, I click on this. Here you see Sridhar again. You click on this, you actually go to the exact town hall video where they're actually talking about those instances of AI. One final example will be Kenny. So Kenny, again, is a sales executive who's just joined another company recently. So we've all had this, right? We are about to enter a meeting with the senior leadership. We are expecting a lot of questions. Of course, they're going to ask a lot of questions because that's what they do. And so you go into a meeting with Zia Hubs, you actually don't have a lot of problems because you put in all your sales stuff into a hub. And as soon as your senior leadership starts asking you questions, they, hey, which companies sold the most cars this year? And then you have that answer right from Zia Hubs. If you want to say, hey, how sure are you? Give me some charts. Go and click, you see the exact chart where the data has been derived from. So that's Zia Hubs. We're going to increase the amount of file types that we support to do this in Zia Hubs. Right now, these are the file formats we support. We're going to very soon work on the Zoho native file types as well. So that when that comes in, it becomes even more powerful. So you have your native files. You also have stuff that you drop in terms of PDFs, images, and the others. So we're going to work on that actively very soon. Awesome. Next is Notebook. So with Notebook, like I said in WorkDrive, what we're going to do, there's going to be a lot of fundamental changes that happens with the product when AI comes in. So with Notebook, what's happening is we are making it or taking it from a note-taking app to a note-making app. So note taking is basically a dumb inference of, you're seeing something, you're taking it down, you're writing it down, and then you're putting the information in a notebook, versus note making is actually drawing inferences out of this and then creating a note. So that's the difference between note making. Imagine you are in a seminar hall, you're taking notes, but you go back home, you're learning for an exam, you're actually making notes, right? So those are the difference. So that's how Zia is actually transforming notebook as well. So it is going from a note-taking app to a note-making app. How does that work? We have something called a transcription agent. So it's gonna sit in all of your meetings. It's gonna sit in your Cliq calls, your meeting calls, even your Microsoft Teams calls or Zoom calls. It's gonna sit as an agent for you in those meetings. Instead of you practically writing down or manually writing down those notes, it's going to listen to all of the meetings. It's going to record that as a transcription. It's going to record that as a meeting, quickly come up with transcriptions so that it understands that, hey, here's what you discussed. Also, you comes up with action items. These are the things that you're supposed to do. These are the things that you decided, and all the others. And then cleanly save that as a note within your notebook. Even better, you actually can kind of create a mind map from it from now. So you have a lot of things that's been discussed. You want to neatly arrange that instead of, like Raju said, instead of leading through long notes and logs and like paragraphs of notes that's there on the page. You can actually create a mind map, segment that into different categories, and then understand what's been discussed in each of these. Let me show you a demo. So as soon as a meeting is over, you get, let me see where that is. Yeah, so you get a meeting note, or you get a summary of what's been discussed as an email. So as soon as you read through that, you say, hey, view this as a note. You go to the notes and you come to Zoho Notebook. So you can see, you can actually listen. Yeah, the audio is not connected. You can actually listen to the transcription of the notes, and the recording of the notes, and then see the transcription here. Here's the agenda. Here are the different things that has been discussed. Again, like Zia Hubs, you can draw references to the particular parts of that particular transcriptions recording and go there, and also create action items, decisions made, and stuff like that. Even better, like I said, if you don't want to read through the entire thing, you want to quickly understand what is the structure of things. Here's the mind map that Notebook creates, so that you actually see, hey, we'll discussed go-to-market planning, and here are the different items or the category of things that we discussed. What are the decisions being made? And then it goes and creates a summary of particular decisions being made based on the transcription that's out there as well. Awesome. So that's right now available for all Zoho One users. If you're a Zoho One user, it's available for free without any extra charge in your notebook account. So I'll just probably connect all of the things that I just spoke about today. You're like, hey, these are different things that you do in different apps. Hey, like go to Writer, you go to Notebook and things like that. Whatever I want, I'm so lazy. I don't even want to open up all of these tabs. I want to sit in one place and connect and do something that actually connects all of these apps that I just discussed today. What about you want to say something like this? Hey, fetch recent emails from Zilker Travels, summarize them into your document, and then share it with Paula. Something like this. Hey, this is something that you want to do probably in the Monday morning. You're too lazy to do this manually. It's a lot of, mundane work that kind of gets put into this as well. But you closely see there are different aspects of this. So there's recent emails has to come from Zoho Mail. Document has to be in Zoho Writer. When you share, you have to share it through Zoho WorkDrive, and then finally send a message on Zoho Cliq. And then AI has to come and summarize all of those informations across apps and put it into one place. So it's going to do that as well. So for this, we are introducing something called an Ask Zia in Zoho Workplace. What happens is you can search across Zoho Workplace apps, whether it's email, WorkDrive, and things like that. It can summarize multi-app information, not just from a single app. You can have like a multi-app thread of information that comes from multiple apps. You can execute a chain of commands, like it just said, do this, and then do this. And then finally, you can collaborate on that particular thing by sharing it with others, because the access permissions also come into picture. Let me do a quick demo of that as well. Yes, so here you have a very early build of this. So again, this is a very early thing. I'm going to show you a glimpse. You're very lucky that you're going to see a glimpse of this A lot of the world is not going to see this. So here is the same email that I was talking about. Find me emails from Zilka Travels, or just say Zilka, summarize them and create a document, and then share it with Paula. Let's see what happens. Oh, thank God. So yeah, so that's what happens. So you see, hey, it's completed search across Zoho Mail. It's found, hey, these are the things that, those are the things, recent emails that come from Zilka Travels. It's going to summarize those into a writer document. So the queue has already been created. It says, hey, once you summarize, I'll create a writer document for you. Once that's done, and then I'll share it on Zoho Cliq automatically through WorkDrive. Let's see how much time it takes to summarize stuff. There you go. Summary is done. As soon as summary is done, yay, it works. It has created a writer document. So as soon as the writer document is done, it'll say, hey, is this the Paula that you're talking about? Like I said, assist, don't bypass. So it's going to assist you. And say, yes, this is the Paula that I'm talking about. Please share it with her. And then WorkDrive comes in here. Magic, how do you want to share permissions? Just like, hey, members of this team can do this. Anybody can on the team can access this. Awesome. Done. Let me check if it's actually sent. There you go.